Now for the juvenile fillies, turf, 14 of them across the track. He'll set on their way. And of the dance on the outside, broke a little sideways with Pro KK, but meanwhile it's going to be stopped. But running on now, and Somali Lemonade's got 8 to make up. They come to the top of the lane. Stop shopping. Maria's got a lot left. Stop shopping. Maria goes on. Sweet Cat is right there. Hard not to like. Royal Body is running on. Past the 8 ball, they come. Stop shopping. Maria for the run. Still under a hand ride as they come to the 16th. Stephanie's Kitten coming out late. Yes, Stephanie's Kitten coming fast. Stephanie's Kitten, stop chopping Maria. Stephanie's Kitten's won. Watched the chances, broke smartly, but so did Tara from the Cape. On the inside, Sky Lantern, the grey going well. If he can get through. Sky Lantern, the grey, looking for somewhere to run. Wide open. It's Tara from the Cape hanging on. Tara from the Cape tries to go all the way. On the outside now, here comes Flotilla in the light blue. Flotilla is absolutely flying. Watch the chances in there too. But Flotilla has gone right on by. And Flotilla is coming home to score. Flotilla has won it just about 2 in the end. It'll be watch the chances. Summer of Fun coming on to finish third.
Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers. We're coming to you from the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course. A couple things of note. The third Saturday of racing. It's not even August yet, and it feels like the middle of September. It is stunningly gorgeous out, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a terrific card. And we were talking yesterday that this might be the 4th Saturday of the meet, and it is a fantastic card. The weather couldn't be any better for enjoying the day at the racetrack. I got out of my car, and the first thing I looked to do was to put my jacket on. If you're not wearing doing a television show wearing jacket and tie, I'd say young people would say this is hoodie weather. Joined by my good friend and partner, Seth Merrow. I mean, it's got to be in the 50s, only supposed to get up to the 70s. I mean, if you're going to the beach, maybe not perfect, but if you're going to the racetrack, it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, no, it was gorgeous yesterday. Obviously, the rain overnight Thursday into Friday took the races off the grass, but other than that, by the time we were in here yesterday, we were saying how nice it was here, and it continued all day long, and it looks like we have a duplicate of that today, and I think with things being able to dry out over the day yesterday,
on the turf,
things will be much nicer racing-wise today, certainly. Let me just, before we go get underway, hit on the promos, because we have some good ones coming up, obviously. Today, the Saratoga Syndicate, again, that's a first-come, first-serve, so that's closed out, but I mention it because we'll be doing a syndicate every Saturday during the meet, and they open on Sundays. So go to the website tomorrow to get into next week's syndicate. For $50, you get in on a $1,500 pick ticket up here at Saratoga every Saturday during the meet, so it's a lot of fun. Saratoga Syndicate, again, opening up on Sunday for next Saturday. Today I'll have a pick 3 bankroll. I believe there's still some time to get in on that, potentially get on the team, so check out the website for the pick 3 bankroll today. If you're going to the Clubhouse Racebook, they have the Play the Board contest. this afternoon. Tomorrow, I'll have a show pool bankroll, a show parlay bankroll. You can check the website to get on the team potentially for that. And Sunday, tomorrow at the Racebook, the NYRA Pick 4 and the Match Bet promotion as well. So lots of fun coming up. Do want to remind you that today here at the racetrack, PDJF Awareness Day, Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund, really worthwhile cause. We have typically in years past, given the last couple of years, haven't done it, but in years past we've had PDJF fundraisers down at the Racebook. But I just want to make you aware that today over on the front side there'll be a jockey autograph session out by the Silks Room, 11:30 to 12:30. Go get autographs from your favorite jockeys. Pop over a donation to the PDJF charity, and again, a nice racing-related charity to be aware of. And today you get to jump in and play along and get some jockey autographs. So again, that's 11:30 to 12:30 over on the front side today by the Silks Room.
Is there anything that brings greater pressure for what we do than betting for other people?
Oh, the bankroll, yeah, that's happily I've seemed to do fairly well when I do it. A lot of times we do it on the front side of the race book and the folks are there. And I'm trying to come up with some plays that people that are sitting there can maybe play along as well, and typically do okay. But there are the days where, and it's just like betting any other day. If you have a bankroll, it doesn't change things up. Some days you're doing it, and some days
you're the fly, some days you're the windshield.
Yeah, some days you get the bear, and some days the bear gets you.
All right, a fantastic card today. We are on the turf. We don't have the conditions yet, but we are on the turf. I said this before, the turf course was getting firmer. You know, you can tell by the racing, in my opinion, and then we got the big rain. So I don't know what we're going to get today. You mentioned yesterday, what it would be like if the weather stayed nice. We got to the Curlin Stakes, and it looked beautiful on television. It's one of those, you know, they harrowed it. They sealed it during the day. You can see the water getting to the top, which is their goal. Let the sun hit it. Then they cut it open, and Dynamic One, who to me, not only my top pick, and we saw the Honorable Miss come last to first, and Dynamic One did the same thing in the Curlin. Seth, I have to tell you, even though it was my top pick, I at this point in my life, I try and be objective. To me, looked like a winner for the 3/8 pole. I mean, was being very, I thought, confidently ridden by Irad Ortiz. He really looked to be just picking out his lane, and then the horse just really accelerated, got himself into position, and then was strongest in the lane. And I had said this yesterday, that I was surprised for myself that I would use the Wood Memorial coming out, because I threw out the Derby like many people did, because he was second choice in the wager. But I thought he looked good. He looked like a strong winner. What did he officially win by? 1 3/4 lengths, beat Miles D. But we'll see if he goes on to the Travers. We have the Jim Dandy today, and you move forward. But that was a very good effort, offspring of Union Rag. So kudos to the connections on Dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, he showed promise, obviously. Took 4 starts to break the maiden, but did that convincingly, and then they were ambitious and went into the Wood, and that was a nice close-up second to their other, the barnmate, the long shot. Yeah. And then, again, the Derby, just draw a line through. So it certainly was clearly eligible to get back to what we saw with the promise earlier this year. Did it. So a nice little late-season budding, developing 3-year-old for Pletcher and Rapoli. And
one thing you'll have to look for, and this is just it could be talent or whatever, but the horses who seem to be up close early with a half, I think it was 47 and change, and then 111, you kind of think it would stick around for this level, but they did not. And the horses who were at the opening quarter mile, 7th, 5th, and 6th, they were the trifecta yesterday in the Curlin. Just food for thought going forward. And today, I mean, this is outstanding. And you ready?
I am.
And we kick it off. Opener. We have 2-year-olds maiden special weights going 5.5 furlong. 6 of the 8 are firsters. And I have to say, I don't know where you went, Seth, but the 2 veterans in the group I don't think are scaring anybody. So I couldn't use that angle. Where did you go?
I went with all first-time starters. I went 3, 2, 8, and 7. I put Kevin's Folly on top. Tommy Amos, good numbers with the first-time starters. The dam produced a sibling called Alpha Bird. Second, first. So first 5 starts of the career, all exacta finishes for the sibling. Distorted Humor's pretty good with win early types. Again, nice steady string of workouts for a trainer who can have them ready. Gaffleone on board. 4-to-1 price is kind of attractive. I could have easily switched up my top 2, however. I went back and forth. I just tilted slightly towards Kevin's Folly. But Master Game, they paid a decent amount of money for this horse last year. There's a sibling called Grit and Curiosity that in the first took 5 starts to win, but over the first 8 starts of the career, 3 wins in 3 seconds. So I think there's some win early from that sibling, Grit and Curiosity. It's Todd Pletcher, it's Irod Ortiz. So as I say, my top 2, I kind of could have gone either way with. Tilted slightly towards Kevin Folly over Master Game, and then Jerkovic at 12-to-1. I like Violence quite a bit as a win early sire, so that automatically attracted my attention. I thought the workouts were okay for the debut, and at the price with Rosario on board, at the price given the sire, the win early sire, Jerkovic will be in my my mix here. If I'm playing a pick as well, I would certainly toss that one in the mix at the price. I think it is an wide open race, but I have a 3, 2, 8, and 7.
My numbers.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're right on the.
Well, it's just, I think I think the race comes down to. I think many people will feel as if the 1 and the 6, who are the 2 veterans, they each have 2 races under their belt, aren't scary. Their buyer numbers seem to be something that if you have a firster who can run a little bit, could achieve that number. So this is a case where I don't think the veterans have any edge by being veterans. You got to show me a little something in it, because I would lean more often towards a horse who was started, because I always say, imagine a horse, you're out, you're doing your workouts. I mean, there's a big crowd, but there's no usually a horse around you, sometimes in pair. Then you get in a horse race and there's like 8 horses, they're playing bumper cars. You're like, whoa, what just happened? So you get a big education, I think, with that first start. But I'm with the firsters also. Just a quick note, you talked about Tom Amos, 27 for 98 the last 5 years. That is a substantial field size for study with 2-year-old firsts and dirt sprints, and he has a positive ROI. I'll tell you what, folks, I take the positive ROI. It's $2.04, which is tremendous. Sometimes I think it's good if you can beat the takeout, which is about 15%. So if you can be at $1.70, I'm thinking that's good too. But Distorted Humor, Offspring. I think, Seth, we're on the one that's going to be very attractive at the windows. I think the first was going to be attractive. I think we have them both surrounded. Master Game, just a quick note. I've never been to Del Mar's summer meet, because when I was in college, I was here and it closes. But I've been to Del Mar, and the first day I was there, Mastery won the Bob Hope, I think, in his second career. So I think he only ran 4 times. Now, this is interesting because he's a freshman stallion. So far, the reporting in formula is 0 for 11 with firsters. Yeah. Which is, we'll see. It doesn't have to last a long time, but Irad Ortiz is on board for Todd Pletcher. For third, I have number 7, HP Moon. Lacey Gaudet sends this runner off 4 consecutive bullet workouts down at Delaware. Comes hunting for bear up here. 3-2-7.
Yeah, and HP Moon, that was very interesting that they're down there in the Mid-Atlantic where she's based in the bullet workouts, and they say, hey, they put up $100,000 up at Saratoga. Let me try that company, which she knows the waters are going to be deep. So, yeah, don't ignore that runner as well. Second race today at Saratoga on a gorgeous Saturday. State bred maiden 40 claimers on the grass, 1.16 miles.
Now, I think you told me, but this has got to be in Steve Bick's wheelhouse. He loves these state-bred root.
Going along on the grass.
And he had the $19 winner the other day, so he knows from which he speaks. He's in a very, very good catbird seat on the DePaulo play of the day. We'll have him at the end of the show. But 3-4-12 for me. So we have 6 of the horses covered, Seth. The opposite of the first race. We have nothing in common, but 8 weeks long for Mark Henning. coming out of what I think is becoming universally everybody's favorite hand-timed races in the not only the 20th century, but in the 21st year of the 21st century. It's not like we just tiptoed into it. We're deep into it. But an Offspring of Vancouver draws down inside, shortens up a mile and a 16th. Going to be coming from off the pace. My suspicion is there will be good given the racetrack. We're going to watch the hoofs. I think there's going to be a little something coming. But I'm down inside. This is where I want to go with Dylan Davis. Back aboard off the third place finish for second, right next door in the starting gate. David Donk, did he tip us out yesterday on this runner? Only kidding. This is a second-time starter. And Offspring of Big Brown. And
there is some excited yelling going on.
Well, it's usually not good in the morning. It's
Well, our director's out. Maybe he'll tell us. He's coming this way, they're saying. So we will. And he is walking right by our tent.
Wow.
You may see him.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
Come out. Yeah, we're just.
He hit our set, and
so you can see him.
I can see him. I can see him better if I have my eyeglasses. But he's standing patiently. I apologize for this, but been doing this since 1998. He's coming back. He's jogging. Hold on, folks.
Yeah, we're just because
Hold
we
on.
have an open, we have an open front, and so we don't. Can you still see him?
No, because now I have.
And if you just tuned in, there was a loose horse is
And
essentially
he's
joined
now.
our
I can see
area
him
here.
again. He's relaxing, getting himself a nibble, and hopefully he'll be pensive here in this moment.
Because folks are converging from various directions, so
They have him, and let's see how this goes. They're trying. This is type of thing you never talk about, but we're here. It's live television, and there are.
okay. Yeah, we'll get the go signal from.
Wow.
We just wanted to again.
You
Again,
can't
he
know.
walked right by the front.
Right by,
you
and
couldn't have,
it's a tight lane over here, and it was.
Didn't quite want him
Wow.
to join us on the set here. That was different. I had a similar situation a couple seasons
24
ago.
years. Did you really?
Yeah, where a horse came right by. But that
24
one,
years, and he hit the foundation of this, and it rattled, and
yeah, he did knock the
But it
tent a
seems
little
like, well, first off, he's okay, which
they
is
haven't-
good. The people seem okay. I don't know. I think the jock who probably got dumped is there too. So,
Okay. All right.
But 3-4-2-12, excuse me, for me here. I was up to Gateway Guardian, making the second start for David Donk and Offspring of Big Brown, who debuted on the turf as Big Brown did. Might have just been practice. I don't know. I'm a big believer in that. We'll see. Probably the middle of the race. I'll know if it was practice or not. Javier Castellano has the mount in for third. Number 12, a little shaky. Majestic Sky for John Kimmel in here. You know what I had noticed? I mean, two Hall of Fame jockeys, Javier Castellano and John Velasquez, you hit the go button. I think they have like 3 wins, 4 wins between them.
Yeah.
Two Hall of Fame jockeys, but 3-4-12, ladies and gentlemen, in the second.
I have it 1-11-9 and 2. I put Fast Gordon on top. I wasn't totally convinced, but I am a Byers guy. I think there's maybe a slight edge here with the Byers. Goes maiden special weight to maiden claiming again. And that attracted my attention, too, because the last time this horse was in for a tag was clearly the best race so far of the career. The best Buyer, a near-miss finish, and there we go.
There he goes.
That's what we like
Calm,
to see.
peaceful.
He's now walking. They'd have him, and he walked in front of our tent. So all good news up here with the loose horse
yes.
that wanted to join us for TV this
Just a
morning.
quick note, at Santa Anita, a siren goes off.
Oh, typically that will too.
Yeah,
but if it's on the track,
Has to be on the track.
I think
that
that's
siren
probably.
goes off
We didn't
loose.
need a siren because
No, we
immediately
were doing the reporting.
There was some yelling
Well, you could
that
tell
it was
how
clear that something was going on. 11 out of the breach. you kind of alluded to it. I'm not thrilled being outside the 1/16 on the grass. I don't know whether I'm thrilled about the 1 necessarily, but the 11 is no bonus. Moves into the Rudy Rodriguez barn, however. A couple of the starts are fit with these. The last, I don't know what to make of exactly, but another one that last time in for a tag ran better, so back in for a tag today, and Oliver's Fortune in the 3rd spot. Again, moves state bred maiden special to state bred claiming, and has done it before and done it with a little bit of talent shown against the claimers earlier. So moving back in against this type should be beneficial. In the 2nd, I have it 1, 11, 9, and 2.
You know what's funny is I've never projected that I thought the trouble would come from behind us at Clare Court. I always thought the trouble would come from out here when they're on the macadam. You can hear their hoofs hitting that, almost sliding, and but we're past that. We seem now we're on to the 3rd race. 7 furlongs, fillies and mares, claimers in for 20.
I've got the one entry 2, 7, and 3, and I think I've got an entry that I like in that I have one with some speed.
You got the relay
one
race
that can kind of pick up the pieces if it falls apart, and I think that may be possible. Miss Liana is the speed, but I think there's other speed in the race. So pace-wise, this may just play out where Miss Liana goes out there. If she does break out a little bit, great, but if she's challenged, then we can pick up the pieces with Flat Awesome Jenny. 2nd spot, Cartwheel. Again, that's another one with some speed. Speed from the rail. You would have to think from the rail. The speed will be shown. It is the 2-horse, but again, with the entry, Cartwheel is going to have the rail. Lady by Choice in the 3rd spot. Another one that maybe will kind of pick up the pieces if things fall apart on the front end. For me, it's the 1 entry, 2, 7, and 3.
Obviously, I see it, very similar, but I will take Saratoga Beauty on top for Ray Handel. But a nice victory the other day. First off the $20,000 claim at Belmont Park. As I was looking at this race, I was, you kind of see the entry mate will go forward. Cartwheel maybe also go forward. I thought I was going to be almost fall into a good trip here with Joel Rosario, where when I think of falling into a good trip is that, the jockey really doesn't have to do very much. Much of it's going to be done for them, where you're just really like, I'm going to get the position I want. I'm going to get a pace at which to run at that seems to be favorable. So it's like just, relax. Remember, it's 3 furlong straight sprint before they get to the turn when they go 7/8. And I think Joel Rosario is going to be in a very good position. That's my top pick. I did have a preference. I'll take the entry. The 1A was the one I more preferred, thinking that the race is going to set up. And watching the races yesterday, I thought maybe sitting off the pace would be beneficial. And Lady by Choice is my 3rd pick. So 4, 1, 7.
Race number 4, State Bred Maiden Claimers. Again, 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
Quick note, the 11 is the MTO, the other 10 in the main body here.
And I think you alluded to it earlier, but I think I will hint that this will be Mr. Bick's concentration race, because again, State Bred's going long on the grass.
He has found something, and he is riding that horse until it bucks him, I guess. 2, 5, 8 for me. War Dancer off to a terrific start at Saratoga this summer. Makes the 4th career start. First off, a $40,000 claim. Draws inside here in the first start of this year. Showed some good early energy, and that could be very beneficial here, just to avoid the crowd, as it were, with Eric Consell, who rode this horse in the last race. Like to see that type of effort. Now, ironically, in the debut, it was maiden special weight, showed no early speed, and closed. In the old days, we used to call that the zigzag effort, but we're talking September 4th to June 10th. So I have no idea if there's a direct correlation, but Pivotal Run is my top pick. For 2nd, number 5, Night Spot. Big price in here, making the 5th career start. All of them for a tag. Now, one thing I'll say about Orientate, who was a sprint champion trained brilliantly by Wayne Lucas in 02. Remember in 01, he tried the Breeders' Cup Classic, but I have to tell you something. In January of 02, I thought he would be one of the best milers on the turf. Wayne had another sprinter, Snow Ridge, who was the top dog in his barn. You look at Orientate's championship year, Wayne did a pivot when Snow Ridge went down, and he got himself a championship. But Orientate, Middle distance, turf runner was very good. Now, this is going to be a flyer here with Benji Hernandez. And for third, number 8, Brennan's War. I maybe should have flip-flopped my second and third picks here, but Brennan's War to me for John Kimmel is a live runner, was double-digit odds in the debut for Dylan Davis, hit the board, but 2-5-8 in the fourth.
I put High Tone on top, 7, 8, 2, and 4. Ron Moquette trainee, new in the Ron Moquette barn. Oh, and while I'm talking about Ron, I will tout top of the hour Racing Across America this morning. Fun show. A couple of days ago, we went to the Stakes Barn, talked to Ron and Laura Moquette, Ron's wife and assistant, about Whitmore in the Vanderbilt today. And Whitmore took him out, and he was rolling in the sand a little bit. Fun interview with Ron and Laura Moquette. That's coming up. Penelope Miller from America's Best Racing will join us, if you're not familiar with that website. Kind of the marketing arm of the Jockey Club, and it's a great website.
Was that the bus a couple years ago? Wasn't there a bus with young people or something?
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
like
it was more than a couple. You're absolutely right.
Well, you get old.
That was a while ago.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. They had it parked out in the that's
fantastic.
Right. But also, live here on the set, Brad Cox will join us this morning. So looking forward to that. Obviously, some conversation about essential quality. But Ron Moquette has High Tone. I'm never thrilled in a race like this to take kind of the veterans of the group. And this one with 7 starts hasn't gotten it done. But I thought the last start down at Churchill may indicate this horse is kind of primed and moving in the right direction with the 1 start so far this season. So I'll tilt slightly in that direction. Brennan's War in the second spot. 1 start, decent start. You kind of mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Seems like the kind where you could come out and the horse got some education and benefits, moves forward from that. And pivotal run off the claim for George Weaver, who is very good off the claim. And that was almost enough to pull me in the direction of pivotal run as a player. I have it in the fourth, 7, 8, 2, and 4.
We'll take our first break on this gorgeous morning. When we come back, more from Saratoga.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Handicapper's Report alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino. We're up to race
An exciting edition
number
of the
5.
Handicapper's Report. We were just
not the first word that comes to mind. After the fact, I would say exciting, but living it, scared might have been the word I was using, especially when I envisioned the whole side of his body just hit the wall over here
if you
and
moved
moved
in
it.
earlier, we had a loose horse that almost joined us on the set. He came by the front of the set here, the front of the tent.
He
but
sure did.
Luckily, everything turned out all right.
Everything seems to be fine. The horse, the people, everything. Thank goodness. 5th race on the card, Fillies and Mares, entry-level allowance going 6.
Top of the page, I have written a puzzle. I looked at this race and eventually 4, 8, 3, and 7. I put Behind the Couch on top. Comes in from some races at Pimlico. This is a New York bred, but has been racing down at Merrow in the first few starts. So as far as recently, more of a fresh face than the rest of this bunch. And so I just tilted in that direction. A nice win last time in an optional claimer down at Pimlico. So seems to be in some decent form. And as I say, a little bit of a fresh face. I tilt in that direction and tilt slightly. Out first in the second spot. Again, this is the kind of thing that makes this race a puzzle. This horse, the race 2 back, is certainly good enough to stack up nicely with this group, but the race last time, not so much so. And occasionally you get these types of races that, for me, are puzzles. This one emphasizes it, but occasionally you get these where the horses you feel are contenders in the last race, or maybe the last race or 2, have thrown in clunkers, but you go 3 or 4 races back, they're clearly competitors, and you just don't know, is this horse gone in the wrong way, or was that last race an aberration? So, you're rolling the dice a little bit. I'm hoping for a rebound. Last time it was a turf race. This horse has raced well on the turf before, though, but I'll look for this one to be shortening back to the 6 and getting back to the dirt to rebound to a better effort. Third spot, I will go with Beautiful Karen. Has some positional early speed, should be prominent throughout. Second start of the meet, so maybe benefits from the run over the track. 4, 8, 3, and 7.
Now, I agree with Seth's take on this, and one of the things, like, for me is I'm not completely enamored with my top pick, but I am steadfast that I'm not taking the morning line choices, because my opinion is that they should, stick out to you. Like Dynamic One to me was attractive as a second choice. The 3 and the 4 are not very attractive. They're in my mix, obviously.
Yeah, I'm just realizing I don't always look at the morning line, but I have the morning line is emphasized. The morning line 7-2 favorite, so that's a price for a favorite to be, and so even the morning line, David Argona was,
like being on ice skates for the first time. So to me, I'm just committed to not picking them. And OK Honey, who I said I'm not enamored with, comes out of 2 1-mile races. I have to hope that helps, because the sprint races aren't that terrific. So maybe it falls into a race or a little bit off the pace.
But the last 3 times the horse was in state bred allowance didn't run well.
No,
and
I know,
so
but it's like I'm not taking the.
It's
like
I
out first. Was probably maybe a better position to go for Jim Ryerson, but I went with OK Honey. Tyler Galfleone gets him out for the first time. Just taking a chance in a race that I completely agree is wide open. And if I probably had to do it again, maybe the 8 would be a horse that I'd be more apt to play. If I was playing horizontals, I'd be more apt to have the 8 in there than the 3 and the 4, and everybody would tell me I'm crazy. But 6, 4, 3 in a very, very tough race on a great card day.
Race number 6 on this Saturday Jim Dandy afternoon. Once again, $100,000 up for grabs for the 2-year-old maidens, going 1 mile and a 16th on the grass.
Quick note, the 5, 11 through 14 are the MTOs, so basically 1 through 10, not the 5, are here for the turf race, and I am on the outside. 10, 7, 8. Now here are 2-year-olds going 1 mile and a 16th on the Mellon turf course, not the inner turf course, and I've always felt that that's what, because would be better for them. Well, let's hope that's not what got through part due.
I think we do have another loose one, but it's not as close.
But Dr. Davis is my top pick, and swimming upstream here, Bill Mott with Firsters, the boys, is not what he has got him into the Hall of Fame, but this is an offspring of Tourist, who I love as a runner and as an early stallion. We're on the outside. We have to cut out a trip here with Junior Alvarado at some point. It won't be easy. For a second, number 7, George Weaver, second time starter. Now, here's the thing. At 42-1, run second. This is the big setup for the Les Well angle for me. Now, 2-1 on the morning line, ladies and gentlemen, because he's now tipped his hand, as it were. And for third, first time starter, number 8, limited liability for Mr. Janny Shug and offspring of Kitten's Joy, making the debut. 10, 7, 8. We only share 1 horse in common, and that's the 2-1 shot. So.
I'm looking forward to this race because I'm going to play around with Dowagia Chief. 6, 4, 7, and 2. Got 12-1 on the morning line. I think we'll live up to that. Tommy Amos runner. I think, again, maybe got some good education in the debut. That was a dirt sprint. Now they stretch out on the turf. Love Cairo Prince with win early type runners. Now this one didn't live up to that in the debut, but there was a full sibling, in fact, called Cairo Diamond. That one admittedly took 5 starts to win, but was a pretty good second in debut. So I think there is a little talent here breeding-wise. I think it's going to be interesting with this surface and distance switch. Tyler Gaffleone on board and a very nice price. So Dow Chief on top, Royal Spirit in the second spot. There's a sibling called Fashionable, 12th in debut, but won the second start. They paid a nice amount of money for this horse. It's Todd Pletcher. Had a decent little 7 furlong workout on the turf, which you don't normally see. So I think this horse will be a player in debut. Third slot, I will use 02035, the George Weaver runner, who I think will take the action off of the debut effort, which was pretty good. And Nyquist Nix for Mark Casse. It's by Nyquist. Paid a good amount of money for the horse. I think this one could be a runner. I will say the few siblings the horse has weren't much. Otherwise, I might have moved this horse up a little bit. But I think at 10-1 with Luis Saez on board, it's one that is worth maybe considering to toss into the mix. Again, I think it's going to be a fun race. I'm going to play around a little bit. I have it 6-4, 7-2.
On to the 7th Open Company, Fillies and Mares, non-winners and one other than a mile on the turf.
8, 6, 7, and 9. I will put Love and Thunder on top. Chad Brown, trainee that since arriving in the United States has put in a couple of nice and improving efforts. Seems primed to run very well again this afternoon. Secret Time in the second spot. New in the barn of Danny Gargan. That's a potent move. I think this horse on a best effort, excuse me, blinkers on today and a best effort puts this horse right in the thick of things. And in the third slot, I will look at High Opinion for Tony Dutrow. Drops out of a 1.25 mile race, couple of 1.25 mile races. And that's always a concern. You wonder how sharp is this horse going to be cutting back to the mile distance. But I just thought the last race seemed to signal some nice improvement in talent, perhaps. And again, might be primed for a good try. So for me, 8, 6, 7, and 9.
I'll just touch on my top horse here, who I like very much. I mean, it's a tough race. It's 12-1 on the morning line. Rivendell, though, to me, is a solid play. We draw the hedge here. One on debut, going 7 down at Belmont as a 2-year-old. Had one more start. That was at Saratoga. Was the beaten favorite, but went to the sidelines until April. Comes off of 3 sprints. Roots for the second time down inside Rivendell 189 in the 7th. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the late pick 4 and graded stakes action from the spa.
Welcome to the West. I'm Scott Varley at Saratoga's latest and greatest high-rise luxury condo. Starting in the mid-5s, every condo here has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and upgrades just like this. Check out these oversized private balconies. We also have a gym, a private lounge, and get this, a heated parking garage. To make a reservation for your private condo at the West, call or text me. I'm Scott Varley at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to the Handicapper's Report on Saturday, Jim Dandy Saturday here at Saratoga. And again, it's a beautiful morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. If you're wavering no longer, you can head up here and have a great afternoon at the racetrack, including some really nice stakes action, some graded stakes action, and get a chance to see some champions, including in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt. 6 furlongs is the trip, $350,000 in the purse, and is returned to Saratoga of last year's sprint champion Whitmore. And again, top of the hour, we recorded an interview a couple of days ago with Ron and Laura Moquette, and Whitmore made an appearance as well, so tune in for that. But Whitmore, the feature in one of the try features today in the Vanderbilt. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought was that Lexingtonian probably didn't want to be next to Whitmore in the starting gate. If you remember last year, Whitmore broke through, made Lexingtonian a little uneasy, ended up being scratched out, got on the plane, went to the Bing Crosby, and just got beat. They're running the Bing Crosby today out at Del Mar. It's a terrific race, ladies and gentlemen. I thought on balance, I don't know. I could probably maybe toss one horse out of the group. That was my take. I liked Lexingtonian last year. I'm less enamored today, but you see it there. I went for Strike Power, a huge price in here, and certainly swimming upstream. I got to be. I have to clear and go. I mean, that's the speed of the speed, and you hope you hold on and it works out because you're going to get pressed here. I've always underestimated Friends in Fire, who is 1 for 7 at Saratoga. I think he won the Sanford. The Sanford, he's actually one of the most accomplished Sanford runners in the last couple of years. Just hasn't won at Saratoga since then, but he's a player in here. Whitmore, the champ. I mean, Mischievous Alex, who I have for second, the morning line favorite, comes out of the Met, shortens up. I mean, he's going to have a foundation to run me down. Then I have Friends in Fire, who is just a hard-knocking runner. Maybe better, gets better buyer speed figures at Belmont than Saratoga. But I don't think they're going to fall asleep, which is what I kind of need for Strike Power. But I couldn't really pick between the rest of them. You went for Whitmore, the champ, so take it away.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah,
I pretty much could have had the same level of confidence with 4 other horses in here. But I thought the champ, he's 8 years old, does not have a win yet, but ran very well down at Oaklawn behind CZ Rocket in a couple of starts. And then last time just missed in the stake at Churchill. Cuts back to the 6th today where he does very well. I'm going to go with the 8-year-old fan favorite on top, but Mischievous Alex cutting back off of the try.
It's going to be heck to pay.
Yeah,
it's going to be heck to pay.
In the Met Mile, the 6 is right in his wheelhouse, obviously. Third slot, I went out to Special
I could go from
Reserve.
first to last an eighth of a mile.
Yeah,
in this race when they come running at him.
It's
Special Reserve. I mean,
it's Special Reserve. I'm going to be interested to see where the betting public goes. 9-2 is probably about right, but I wonder, comes out of a win at Pimlico, a win at Prairie Meadows, but with 2 triple-digit buyers in tow. Special Reserve is dangerous as well, and then Frenzy Fire down the 4th spot. But again, I could have pretty much used any of those with the same level of confidence. However, I tilted 6-2, 9-3.
Fantastic race.
Absolutely.
Continuing on, the 3-year-olds in the premier local prep for the Travers Stakes, the Jim Dandy.
And again, Brad Cox will join me a little bit later on Racing Across America, and he has Essential Quality. I just couldn't get past Essential Quality. I have it 5-3-2-1. I mean, the leader currently in the division, off the win in the Belmont. The only blemish on the record was the Kentucky Derby. He just looks to have the edge on this bunch, and so I just couldn't get by him. Really interested to see what Weyburn does, though. I think Weyburn could be a very, very intriguing second half of the year 3-year-old. That run in the Pegasus kind of validated some of the promise he showed earlier this season. Masquerade coming out of the nice win in the Ohio Derby, I think could be an interesting player as well. And Dr. Jack being lightly raced, maybe there's still some upside potential there. But as I say, I just couldn't get past Essential Quality. No. But I'm really intrigued to see what Weyburn does this afternoon. 5-3-2-1.
I look at Essential Quality almost the same way I looked at Curlin years ago, Seth, in that I didn't like Curlin in the Derby, and he ran 3rd, and I was most impressed with him, loved him in the Preakness, and he won. Essential Quality, I was looking to bet against him in the Kentucky Derby, and I actually thought he impressed me so much to run 4th, maybe someday it'll be 3rd, but only beaten a length. And I loved Mandolin that day. I think you did too. And he ran well, and he's continued to run well. And Essential Quality got the Belmont Stakes in very professional fashion. He is, without doubt, the horse to beat in here. As I said, I'm most impressed by the one defeat he's taken in his career. Has been the chalk all day except for the Breeders' Cup, when I actually liked him and didn't like Jackie's Warrior 1 inch, who we'll get to later. But this is just about maybe the potentiality at this moment in this race for Weyburn to beat Essential Quality. It's just a flyer. I mean, Essential Quality is the goods, and so 3-5-2 in a very intriguing Jim Dandy. Because you have to think if he wins, he's going to be the pro tem leader of the division, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because it's him and Mandaloon, right? That's just the two of them.
And I think, currently, he's leading the division with the Belmont line.
All right.
I certainly think.
Understand.
10th race at Saratoga, the Grade 2 Bowling Green, $250,000 up for grabs. The trip, 1 mile and 3/8 on the grass.
2 years ago, Seth, I know one, we had the Jim Dandy and the Bowling Green the same day, and I said, if you let me pick half the field in the Bowling Green, I wouldn't be confident I had the winner. Channel Cat, down the road every step. I didn't need 6. How many ran that year? 12 ran. I only needed 1 pick, apparently, and then Tax won the Jim Dandy, so it actually worked out. Once again, I think this is a terrific edition of the Bowling Green, and I am 4-8-7. You ran on Rock Emperor also, who is my charity bet of the day in the Times Union today. Chad Brown's runner ran in the Fort Marcy to get the season off to a start, has been consistent in the 3 races, gets 3 turns today. Be very interested to see that effort, but I think coming off of the allowance race, we get some confidence and we move forward today. We have the best closer maybe in the business, Joel Rosario, who's ridden this horse before. I thought it was a wide open race. If you like Channel Maker, I mean, I understand, but I thought on balance set, 5 or 6 could win this one, and there's only 8 in this year's edition. I have Shamrocket on the outside for Todd Pletcher, coming off of the 12 furlong race, the Grand Coutier, who I think won the Sword Dancer twice up here for Bobby Robato, and then for third, Moon over Miami. But he is 6-1. It is a terrific contest in here. We both have him on top.
Yeah, I thought, like you did.
But I don't think he's going to get bet. Even though we 2 public handicappers have him on top, I don't think he's going to get bet.
Do you think you're going to get the 6-1, though? I mean,
no, they're going to bet the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 7. After you bet those 4, where do you land?
It's Chad Brown, though. So
I know, but it's not a Chad Brown like bells and whistles.
I get the 6-1. I'll be perfectly.
I mean, he's not going to be 4-1 or less. He's going to be.
Well, I could see going down to like 4, though.
Okay.
But I'll be interested to see now. My top 2 are similar, as you said.
Yeah,
got the confidence builder last time, and I think there was a little bit of let's move into that optional claiming and just get this horse back on track. He did that last time. He did it in a fashion that says he maybe moves into this going in the right direction. There are clearly back numbers that are good enough, and maybe we're now primed to get to one of those. So I put Rock Emperor on top. Similar scenario with Cross Border, who I think just needed a little confidence boost last time, dropped into an optional claimer, ran a close-up second. But again, did it in a fashion that maybe said, now the horse is primed with that one under the belt. And Channel Maker, yeah, I mean, Channel Maker from the end of last year is the one to beat probably, but off of the, global travel earlier this year, I just wasn't totally convinced I wanted to land on that one in this spot this afternoon, given that there were a couple of others that were a little more intriguing. So I have that one down in the 3rd spot, but I wouldn't argue anybody off of that. But clearly with the talent, if this horse rebounds off the trip to Dubai most recently, Channel Maker probably winds up being
terrific race.
But I have it 4, 2, 5, and 1.
And at approximately 6:47, claimers 25,000, mile 16th on the melon will wrap up this terrific day of racing.
1, 3, 8, and 7 for me. Vittori Kin on top. Claimed 3 back for 25,000. 1 at that tag, and then they got ambitious and bounced up against a little bit better in the past couple of starts. Number-wise ran well, just the finishing position wasn't what it was meant to be. But getting back to this level, I think that can turn around. Morocco in the 2nd spot, another horse getting some class relief, this one for Safi Joseph. This one, though, is a little more of a head-scratcher. As I say, they claimed Vittori Kin for this 25,000. Morocco was claimed for 50. They've had one start since. Now they cut the price in half. So this is one of those, and I can kind of go either way, but the talent is there. Hieroglyphics in the third spot. Nice win last time. Claimed out of that for the 25. They come back for the 25. That last one was the seasonal debut. If this horse can put a couple together like that, becomes very interesting. Tis a runner, I think, also off a close-up second place finish against similar down at Churchill last time with Irod Ortiz on board for Mike Maker is dangerous also. I have it 1, 3, 8, and 7.
This horse, bird's eye view to me is like the sneaky play thought of the day for me, coming off of one start since February, taking on turf racing down at Tampa, comes out an 8.5 furlong race at Monmouth Park. Sneaky connections, Jose Lezcano, 12-1. One thing I think, if this horse gets bet, then this is the wise guy's horse or something like that. I guess you don't get those often. And claiming 25,000s, but the offspring of Mizzen to me, much shapes up right for this. There's. I got to tell you, my one thought is, basically, if he repeats his Monmouth Park race, he's in it to win it. I mean, he's right there at double-digit odds, and that's the way I love to play the game. And I have Morocco for second for the Hot Barn. Savvy Joseph, I think he was quoted as saying, this is like the weekend that he's waited for, and then for third counter offer. But bird's eye view has much of my attention in the 11th and finale. A fun race after 3 stakes races in a row, and then you might have a bust-out race at the window. But
my guy Mike Deeney down at Tampa, he had a great meet down at Tampa. Going for Ballybrit. They're the team that had the horse Merrow a few years ago.
Oh, yeah?
And I asked Mike about it, and he said it is Gaelic for merman, like not mermaid, merman.
Okay.
Who knew?
Not me.
But eventually, I was kind of following the horse, and eventually it won at like 60 cents to the dollar.
Right.
It was getting beat, and then at a short price got it done. But
we'll take a quick break for a message from our play of the day, the good people at DePaulo.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes Hot Chaparral. Hot Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing. Only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience here to be fair and easy. Whatever you drive, any make or model, DePaula is at your service with 100 bays and master technicians. So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs. At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. DePaula can service any truck up to 72,000 pounds, so if you can drive it, DePaula can service it. So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
It's post time for today's DePaula Play of the Day.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report. We now bring in the white-hot Steve Bick for the DePaula Play of the Day.
Seth?
Steve?
Anthony?
Good morning. Beautiful morning.
Oh, my God. It's glorious. But that's what happens when it rains for 72 straight hours.
And it eventually clears out and took the humidity with it.
No, it is gorgeous. And so is Seth in that tie of mine.
You should have seen the one of yours that he wore yesterday. I told him it's becoming the easiest read in television, knowing when it's Steve Bick tie day. The royal blue one you gave him was scintillatingly looking. And I said, Seth, I feel bad because I have to say, I know this is a Steve Bick gift. And he's like, you're absolutely right. I go.
And now the tie is becoming a thing on the front
Yes.
side. Like 5 people mentioned it to me yesterday.
Stacko ties, one of the great running gags in all of sports television.
Yeah, very good, very
nice.
We as we were doing the Handicappers Report earlier and leading into this, we mentioned your thing this season has been the 2-turn races on the grass for the state breds, and it looks like the Play of the Day goes right in that direction again today.
It does, but it's not exactly a play that, I've got great gusto for, but the entire card is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
In terms of picking out a spot that you really want to grab a hold and take a shot. You look at the 3 stakes and they seem formful. I suppose you could get a 9-2, 5-1 winner in the Bowling Green, but I wanted to find something that was going to be above 5-1, and this state bred mile and a 16th race on the inner turf might be ripe for something of a fresh face. There's a couple of races on the card where you've got career maiden types or the makings of career maidens. And for that reason, I thought that Brennan's War, the John Kimmel War Dancer gelding in this spot might be employable. He ran a nice enough debut to latch on and to feel like if there's some improvement to be had, it could make a difference. He's 8-1, and to me, he feels kind of like the frog with the least warts. And a very good workout report on Brennan's War as well coming into this. That sort of tipped the scales for me. And Dylan Davis has kind of caught a wave of late, riding well, and it feels, in a nondescript race, there's really kind of an undefined pace scenario. Tough workout is probably your pace setter, and I kind of thought that Dylan Davis could set up shop and be within striking distance, and if the horse improves, just a little bit, you're going to get some value. So 8-1, Brennan's War. Roll the dice, thoroughbreds. That's what we're doing on the DePaula Play of the Day.
I like it, and I will tell people to tune in tomorrow because you're the guest handicapper on this Handicappers Report tomorrow, and that will, of course, lead into Loose on the Lead as well. So looking forward to that tomorrow at 9 a.m. But, Steve, we appreciate the visit today.
Not at all. The big question is, will there be a costume change between shows?
Brian and I talk about that. Should we do that on Thursdays?
I'm ahead of the curve on this.
Naturally.
People can, there may be some action. There may be some action in Vegas.
Now people have to tune in.
Absolutely.
Steve, thanks.
Steve, have a great Saturday afternoon.
All right, everybody.
That wraps up the Handicappers Report. He stays, I go. Up next, Racing Across America.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. and CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.